Hello everybody, how you doing? It's wee Paddy and wee Judd. Mikey's travelling and he might join us later. I think he's travelling back from work. So hopefully he'll pop in later as the show goes on. But I'm sure me and the wee man can ably entertain you with our vast amount of knowledge, experience.
That was the chair, by the way. That wasn't me. That was the chair.
Yeah, he says that all the time. Usually my dog gets blamed. So I mean we're going to talk, and this week we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
We're
it was
talking
my
about
idea. Wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was your
Yeah,
idea.
we're
Yeah.
talking about traditional, Stephen.
We're talking about
Traditionals.
British traditional,
British traditionals, yes.
which is we do it traditional most of the time, but I mean this is British, and what I've tried to pick is some of the older ones I like and
Good.
things like that, rather than I don't want it to be, yes, we'll throw in, you're going to do the Arthur Wright bit and things like that, and actually the ones that we all enjoy, including Mikey. So, hello, Stuart. Yes, on time. It's a complete novel. And we blame Mikey. Now, it must be Mikey's fault we're late every week.
There you go.
There
There you go.
I can slope all right. Yeah, I can slope.
Absolutely.
So-
So, yes, Stuart, it's something of a Halloween miracle. What can we tell you? We're actually on time.
Is it Halloween?
And yes, Nigel, we are that predictable, which is,
Yeah.
but I think that's
Thanks, Nigel. Yeah.
it's the only explanation that makes sense.
Nigel's showing some nice knives this week. He has been showing some nice knives on Instagram, or maybe they're just nice to me.
I don't know. I haven't seen
I
any.
have seen quite a few nice knives he's been showing.
And we've already got a response to this traditional knives thing. And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, because I honestly think that Mikey and Stephen have been humouring me over the last 6 months or so, because they know that I'm not as big into the traditional knives as they are, even though I do love them. And as we will hopefully see,
You've got a hell of a selection.
I've got a
them.
fantastic collection of them. But there's been, I mean, apart from anything else, there's an awful lot of chit chat and conversation already in the community and on various shows around there. And Slipjoint Sawyer and the Lost Boys and all the rest of them are probably as guilty of this or as responsible for this as anybody else. And they're always talking about traditional knives, particularly Sheffield knives, because every 3 seconds they're showing a new Sheffield knife on the Lost Boys, for crying out loud. And I think what we've done is tried to stay away from getting lost down that one rabbit hole. But the sacrifice of that means that we don't get to talk about it, because in spite of the fact that we're really big fans.
We tend to step back because we don't want it to be overdone.
Yeah.
And we like to keep it fresh. But also I do think we like to have a mixture in.
We do.
And we love the arguments that mixture usually causes between us.
Especially in the chat. So keep the comments coming, because goodness knows we will point out the error of your ways.
So tonight it's going to be a mixture of not all Arthur Wright or Ashley Harris. It's going to be probably less of them than
there will be a lot of them.
Yeah, but I mean I haven't picked any one of them for my collection tonight. No, I don't think I have one.
Excellent.
Oh, I have one. Sorry, I have an Ashley.
That's okay. I've got you covered.
All right.
I've got you covered.
But that's nice, because you don't do a lot of I love the older knives and things like that. That's all part of my collecting.
Well, let me tell you. You asked if I have lots of questions for you today. So there's our first question. Well, first of all, just to keep the punters happy, there's a knife.
Oh, there's a nice knife.
There's a nice knife. Okay.
That's not just nice. That is a special knife.
It is.
And it's the only one I'll ever have with it when the spine gets done as well.
Yeah, with the spine on the blade.
I mean, it's a beautiful show knife.
And what makes it even better, we were in the workshop when he did that for us,
it was just amazing. Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic. But that's a special knife. So that'll satisfy that particular requirement. Yes, Peter, it's done. Thank you. And hopefully it'll keep you going for at least the next 7 minutes while I ask Stephen this particular question, because here's the thing. I don't collect old knives. I know Slippy does, I know Mikey does, and I know Stephen does. So my first question is, coming from a person who likes the shiny stuff and likes the shiny stuff because it's shiny, what's the big deal with the historical knives, with the old knives?
It's dead simple. For me, it's not even so much about the history, because I'm not a reader. If there's pictures, I go and look at pictures, nice pictures. They tell me everything I want to know. But for me, the older knives, I'm terrible. At school, I was always accused of looking out the window because it was true. I looked out the window and I had my own little fantasy life outside of the school building because it was boring in there. But I've been like that all my life. If I get something that intrigues me and makes me think, takes me away. I mean, I can pick an older knife up. I mean, this one is the perfect example what to do. This little beauty in here, since the day and hour I've got it, I adore it. I often just get it out. I sharpened it the last time when was said, because I'd never really sharpened it, but I actually sharpened it and I used it. And it's this little knife here. And this little beauty, I'll give you a close up now because you have to get close up to see it. This is the most beautiful little knife. It's the oldest knife I have. I don't know what age it is, and it's off the age where you didn't even have a maker's mark on it. There's nothing on it, but it's made with
So you're talking 1800s.
Oh, 1800s, yeah, I would say 1800s. The stag that was on it looks like it would have been knobbly and there would have been, but it's all good bark on it.
Smooth.
It is shiny smooth, and I've never shined it. It's just, and to me, this encapsulates exactly why I like traditional knives, because I sit and think, who owned this? Go back to what would their life have been like that this little knife would have been useful, and it would have been sitting on somebody's desk, I would have thought, or in a little jacket pocket or something. It would have been a higher class because this was for pens, for quill, for cutting your quill down. And in them days, writing them letters and that was communication that we have now with an iPhone. This was used as, to make the quills that enabled that person to write letters in their own particular fashion of how thick they put the quill. And I just sit and I'll open it up, and for no reason, I'll just sit there and I just drift off. I start thinking, who had this? And that goes for all, and even if they're only 60-year-old, because you take 60 years ago, we happen to be that age, but 60 years ago, the people who had the knife in their hand that I'm holding, their life was so different compared to mine.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm retired with just a basic pension. I've got a wee secondary pension, but not much. And I am living so much better than that person would have done 60 years ago when he retired. So it doesn't have to be a huge distance. And if you're 18 or 20 and you're collecting knives, 50 years ago is blooming,
very true.
It's just lifetimes.
I find it depressing that 60 years ago was 1965. It is no longer 1945 or 25. I find that depressing.
Yeah, and I caught the end of the 50s, which is even worse. It makes me think even further back.
So it's the story. It's the story behind
it. It's the story, but it doesn't have to be a red story.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's a story. Well, it's a story that you imagine about the knife yourself.
I do. And I mean, it really is just that story. And I keep this in a wee leather pouch now because I'm so frightened of something happening to it. But a couple of weeks ago when I showed it on the thing, I said I was going to sharpen it. I did. It actually takes a lovely edge. And I used it for about the house. Just cut things that I was cutting. I didn't do anything that was going to bend the blade back or anything, but I've done an awful lot of this cutting.
Yes. There's so much receipt paper that really needs cutting.
And to be honest, what else do you need to do with a little pen knife? I mean,
very true.
It is. Look at that. It's just a beautiful edge on it.
Well, it's only about an atom thick. I mean, it's
so thin, and it is 1 1/8 long blade. So it's just beautiful, and you can just imagine sitting there with a pigeon feather and giving it making the quill.
Absolutely.
So I just love it.
I can't believe the action on it.
No,
it's
still
so sharp, and it's got a half stop and everything.
And here's the thing: look, it's even got a long pull. It's very, very fine.
Yeah.
But then again, back in them days, people didn't cut their nails every couple of days to keep them all neat and trim. They had long nails. Do you know what I mean? So it's perfect.
But listen to that. It's just lovely. It just is lovely. So Tim Titus is asking, what is actually? Let's kick this off. What constitutes a traditional knife?
But for me, I keep it really simple because there's too much arguing about what's traditional, what's modern traditional, and what's. You could go on for 3 weeks and everybody's going to have it. For me, it's dead simple. If it's pin construction, using natural materials.
Yep.
That's it. Traditional knife.
There you go. Okay.
Now, the natural material bit's even skip because I'm talking, when I say natural, I mean just the materials that other knives are made. It's just,
Yeah.
you know,
Because it could be Delvin or various,
yeah, it's all
forms of
plastic, isn't it? Yeah,
cellulose or
it's all
plastic,
plastic.
any of those things. So it's the pin construction.
Yeah,
I mean, I would add one which is probably the traditional methods of putting them together.
that's really good, but there's very few people do it
Oh, I
anymore.
know. No,
Most
that's
of them
the
are
truth.
all,
That is the
you
truth.
know, a
Yeah.
lot of these new knives, because what the majority comes from China now.
Yeah.
Be that fixed or traditionals, they're coming from China, and they've just got it down to a fine art where they can
They
make it so precise. Whereas when you're buying a handmade knife, it's never going to be precise because you can't make one thing the same two times in a row. Never like
times.
you can get it very close. The dimensions will all be different because you're doing it by hand.
And then if you've got a pattern that is being made by 2 or 3 different people
They
in
change it.
bulk,
Yeah,
exactly, you're going to have those little
nuances in every knife.
nuances. A beautiful
See,
way of
big word.
expressing it there. That's a little tiny word, but it's very very relevant and very appropriate.
But what stops you collecting older knives?
Because they're not bloody shiny. I know it's so superficial. It is so ridiculous, and it is. I mean, come on. I'm sorry, but come on. I'm sorry. It's shiny, okay? It's shiny. It shines.
This is horn. Look at that feathering on that horn.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't it?
That is pretty.
Beautiful. Look at this blade. That's a shiny blade, believe it or not. It's a lovely
blade.
Look at the action. Close it
that.
up and down.
That's a very nice one. What one's that?
Is
Is that a Richards?
No, it's not a Richards, no.
It's a William Rogers.
William Rogers, no less. A very, it's harder to get William Rogers knives now than you get Joseph Rogers by the dozen. But William Rogers, and I happen to have that. And my throwing knife I just bought.
Oh, that's right.
And that is another one that I open this up and I think, what did the person who bought this, whenever they bought it, what were they thinking buying a single throwing knife?
It's because it wasn't a single one. It was obviously a ninja's.
That's one.
Yes, it's one knife, but it was a ninja spare kept in a wrist shape. Okay,
but
when you tell stories,
was it down a Scottish? Was it down a dirk instead of a dirk?
In the sock? No, it was on the wrist, underneath the jacket,
so
you could just take it out.
When I see something like that, and you get that horn, and you get the, or not the, the.
Yeah, no, there's nothing
beautiful.
Like getting the horn, is there? Now stop it.
But it is. I mean, and the other thing which I think, but this is where the Americans also have a fantastic market, because at the height of knife making in America, they had tons of companies, hundreds, rather than our sort of scant, maybe 100 or 200, 200 companies or something. But they had hundreds of them. So you've got such a wide variety of knives to collect, makers to collect. I like to try and get as many different makers as I can.
So what? Okay, if we're talking about different makers. So what are we talking about? I mean, we've obviously got the Arthur Wright that everybody's a big fan of, and one of the main reasons that everybody's a big fan of Arthur Wright is that they're so accessible. In spite of the fact that they don't have an awful lot, they don't put huge production runs out or anything, because they just don't have the capacity to do volume production. But they do put them out constantly and consistently, and they're accessible in terms of price. Exactly.
Whereas GEC now, getting up to near £200 for it's not worth it.
Yeah,
and it's not a handmade knife. It's partially handmade, but it's becoming less and less of that old traditional handmade. One, I just don't think they can get the staff, which is a problem we have here, as Arthur Wright has shared, as Michael has shared with us. Getting the right staff is
to actually
so
produce the
difficult.
Knives. Yeah, no, it's very true. Although, I mean, in my retirement, I might ask him for a wee job.
Well, he needs a sweeper upper.
I mean, but these hands, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that they're.
I have no chance. I can barely shake hands. Never mind do anything.
So, if we're talking makers, Arthur Wright, who else have we got? You mentioned Joseph Rogers.
I mean, there's Joseph Rogers. I mean, this is a beautiful Joseph Rogers. This is a thin clip point. It's small, not much pull on it, and this is a lot of the companies. This is more modern, I should say. This is, but it's a copy of an older model when they had the most beautiful. Look at that, deep.
Ooh, very nice.
Isn't that just beautiful? Let me just see if I can get that in there. Do you see it? The Joseph Rogers is stamped into the bolster, and I just love that. That takes me back. Now, it takes me back further than that knife was made, but it's when they done things like that, it made such a difference to a knife. It enriches.
You're used to seeing that on the boxes for
Yeah.
Joseph Rogers knives, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that stamp is fantastic.
It is. It's actually super. And I mean, this is another modern one that was made, but it was off an old pattern. And look at this, has just been done by Slippy, by the way. You haven't seen this yet on the channel.
Oh, look
this one has the buffalo horn.
His buffalo horn
put on by Slippy on a modern Joseph Rogers. But again, the thing that drew me to this was you had the stamp, the star and the cross, and it just, look at how deep that is.
Yeah,
like it's proper stamped, and I just,
and so that's a lovely Warncliffe.
Yeah,
it looked almost like a.
You could call it a Warncliffe, probably a lamb's foot, which was been done, but you know it could well fit into that sort of Warncliffe character.
Yeah, it's got a lamb curve on it.
It's the roundy lamb which we don't see as often now. Most of it,
lovely,
isn't it beautiful?
It really is.
And it was stag on it, but it was older stag. It had the bark on it was still very rough and dry. It just, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get anything into it. I was seeping it in oil to try and get the stag.
You weren't getting any life into it.
And it just bugging me.
Yeah.
So I sent it to Slippy. Everybody, no, don't send that to Slippy. I'm stag. It's lovely. No, I'm sorry. It just
but the buffalo horn he does is just outstanding.
I mean, it's lovely. I'm really pleased with it now.
See, I only have a couple that aren't, and I mean, one of them is very similar in style to those, and that's the IXL Wollstonecombe.
Yeah.
And I mean that's another very typical one.
Oh, that's lovely, and the big stamp again.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why companies went away from the stamp and went to this etching. It doesn't look anywhere near as good.
It doesn't, and I mean you don't have the feel of it either. I mean you can scrape your nails.
It's like taking another wee bit of tradition away.
Yeah,
and that's what I don't like. You're taking that tradition of a stamp, because even if it's modern, I bought it today. If it's in that traditional pattern, I don't want it screwed with, because it's lasted, 100, 200 years.
Yeah.
Well, why change it for an etching that you can barely see, rubs off after a while? If you're opening and closing and it's wearing it away,
you really got to question the decision process of that.
And I know exactly what it is, money.
Yeah, it's just a way of cutting the corner
money,
somewhere along the line.
Because I mean, they buy a laser, it lasts you for what?
Yeah, and what point they can get more knives through that way.
Yeah. So it's always about money, and I just think it's I always think it's a bit different.
So we've got Rogers, we've got Wollstonecombe. Anybody else?
Well, here's some of my little favorite knives. I love these old little plastic knives. Some of them are bone, some of them are actually genuine bone. I'm trying to think which one is. I think it might even be this one is bone. I think that one's bone. That one's cow bone. But a lot of them are just, a plastic or a form of plastic, whatever they were using. These are all quite old. These are sort of beginning of the century, or last century, I should say. I just love them. The little pen knives. I've always loved the pen knife. I love having a pen knife in my pocket because I feel completely as if I can take anything on in an EDC. And people keep getting EDC confused with hard work. It's not. EDC is just every wee job that you're going to do.
The wee basic jobs.
So that basic little pen knife is absolutely, and this is a Barber, isn't it? Yeah, this is an ERA Barber, which was I don't know whether you brought the new one.
It's the model or inspiration.
No, it wasn't the same, but it's the same company, the older company that made it, because these were very popular here in Ireland.
Yeah.
And Michael done another one on that theme. This is an old Barber pattern. I'm saying it's a Barber pattern. It's in the image of an old Barber pattern, and I was so happy to get this beautiful lamb's foot on it, which is great for anything.
I have to say, it's one of the most attractive knives I've seen in many a moon.
Absolutely. But I mean, they're all a little bit different as well. I mean, they've all got maybe the different blades on it. This one has maybe a larger pen on it. It's not much bigger of a knife, but you can see the difference in the size of that blade.
Yeah.
I mean, that blade will do anything I'm gonna do in a
Yeah.
day. And if it doesn't, I'll just go and get a bigger one. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
But
Right.
how many of those do you have?
I probably have about 20 to 30 different.
And are they all the
Oh,
same?
no, not one of them's the same.
Really?
They're all different. Every single one.
Damn it! That.
I don't buy doubles, even in these. I don't buy doubles, or very rarely do I buy doubles in any knives. It's not something that appeals to me. They might look the same on the outside, but it'll be a different maker. These are all different makers. We'll just prove that, and we'll show you. You do that one. I think that was a Barber, wasn't it? This is a Lockwood.
Yep, that's a Barber.
Lockwood Brothers. This other little tiny one, which I just love because it's had a lovely wee tiny shield on it.
Oh, beautiful.
And look how well fitted that is. I mean, this is an older one now. Lovely little pen. And then a tiny little, I just think, look at that.
They are
and
cute.
It's as cute as the damn, and sharp. I mean, I literally keep them sharp and use them. And the last one is this one, and it's got another wee shield on it, a wee long shield,
Very
which I
nice.
love. And these are all pen with a pen, you know, pen blade. They're just, but these knives going back then could have been probably still used for making
oh yeah, for a quilt or whatever, you know what else. I mean? Or in the 40s, they would have been used for correcting type.
Yes, type. Yeah, the type.
And scraping off the ink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's they're all, everything I've got here is all sort of older. At the minute I'm into, like, there's another. This is beautiful. I got this one done by Slippy. This is in that what do you call that wood?
Wengy
wood, which is just beautiful, black, just goodness. And again, this one is J. Thompson from Sheffield. And again, I just think that's lovely.
That's just beautiful.
It's just a lovely knife. And again, this one's more sturdy. The blades are a bit thicker on it. Not a huge amount, do you know what I mean? But they're good enough if you want to do a cardboard box for this. You can feel it. It's substantial in your hand.
And they're lovely. They're lovely, nice. But here's the thing, Stephen. And I mean, maybe everybody out there is looking at these and going, they're amazing. I've got to get me a few. I mean, look at that too. It's even got a wee bit of spine work.
Yeah, Slippy done that in the back. Yeah.
I mean, he's really coming on, that boy, isn't he? But it's, maybe there's some people out there who are going like you. Oh, yeah, I must see if I can pick some of them up. And these are the kind of things that you pick up in car boot sales and markets and whatever else, if you're lucky enough.
It used to be on eBay, and I got a lot of mine on eBay.
Yeah.
Now you can't get any knives on eBay anymore. It's stopped again. But you get at car boot sales, you can pick them up for £2 to £5. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's a great way to build up a collection if you haven't got finances, and we all don't have finances at some part in our lives. If you haven't got the money to go out and buy new, buying something like this and even getting it recovered for £35 like I done, it's still within
and it's still a beautiful
really cheap. Yeah,
it gives it a whole
beautiful
because the action and everything on it is
fantastic.
It's perfect. But here's the thing I was thinking. I'm just wondering if there's anybody else out there that those still no particular attraction for me. And I couldn't tell you why not, because they're beautiful little knives. But it's just not the sort of thing, because it's one of those things. It's, I don't know. It's sort of, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. I get, that's the kind of feeling that I get.
I mean, I can sort of understand that. Everybody's eye is different.
Yeah,
there's certain things.
But remember, there's no reason for it. Remember, I used to have like 120 Swiss Army knives. You all look the bloody same.
Exactly.
So I mean, what's the difference?
But here's a difference that you'll get to find from other people rather than trying to search inside for something. Carry one.
Really?
Carry one. Take it out and work. Set it in your desk.
Yeah, and just use.
See how many people. My granddad used to have a wee knife like that. It's amazing. And then you actually feel, oh, this is a lovely wee knife, this. And you can start a conversation. Just put a wee knife like that on your desk. It's not going to frighten anybody. There's no boss going to. It can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. And even if you're a teenager, if you're carrying this, the police are not going to think you're a thug.
That is the thing. Slippy did a video earlier in the week. And it was 5 reasons to collect a traditional. And one of the main reasons, I mean, from our perspective in the UK, was the legality of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is exactly the point that you're talking about. There is absolutely no threat posed by that kind of knife.
Here's my opposite to this. But why in the rest of the world do you need a bigger blade than that for just EDC work? You don't.
You don't. I mean, when it comes down to it,
It's nice to have the choice.
Yeah.
Nice to have the choice.
But often we make, I think, but often we make the choices for the wrong reasons. It's either because of, well, not the wrong reasons, but for, nonsensical reasons.
Yeah.
For me, I've got no reason to dislike those, but I wouldn't carry one out of choice, and I wouldn't collect them out of choice.
And the other thing was, I wouldn't carry any knife as a weapon.
Yeah, well, of course not. Yeah,
that's not me. I don't.
But what I think I'm trying to say is that there's an awful lot of knives out there. I've got an awful lot of knives in front of me that I carry in place of those, but I couldn't honestly tell you why I prefer them over that. Maybe it's because it's a single blade. Maybe it's because it's nice materials. Maybe it's because it's a custom from Ashley or whatever else, and it's special. Or maybe because it's a slightly unusual blade shape that is particular to, I don't know, it's a wee bit special. So say, for example, there's one that I just love, and that's an Ashley in Damascus. And I mean, whether you like Damascus steel or not, you can talk about it all you want, but that is a gorgeous knife.
And it still cuts and holds an edge.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's so. But I'm more likely to be sort of looked at strangely either by people in work or the police or whatever else, as opposed to carrying one.
And this is the thing, because we want our teenagers to be involved with us, to get into our hobby, get into things like that. If you encourage them to get into this sort of a hobby where you've got just little pen knives, whether they're single blade, I mean, here's one that I got this off Slippy. It was 2-bladed, right?
Yeah.
This little yellow knife.
Yeah, with that beautiful shield. Look at that federal shield. That is
beautiful little shield. But when I got it, I got the main blade and I opened the main blade up. Lovely main blade. Tell you, it's been used and abused. There's nothing wrong with that. It's scratched and scored, but still sharp as a razor. Let me tell you, it would take your finger off. But I went to pull the wee pen blade out, and I pulled the pen blade, and it snapped off my hand.
Oops. You didn't know your own strength, Stephen.
No, it just broke off. I didn't even pull it hard because it's not that strong a pull, but it's still, there's one blade missing. And how many older people's knives do you find your granddad's house when you went in that the blade's missing?
Or it's been worn down to a nub.
Even my dad, who wasn't a knife person, he used to have a wee knife with just one blade left on it.
Yeah.
And he carried it and well, it works.
Yeah, it's very true.
I mean, we do become very
precious.
Yes, we're very insular when it comes to, oh heavens above, I wouldn't carry a knife with a broken blade.
Oh no.
I love that.
It's that. Well, it's when you get so many to choose from, but I think you come around to it again. It's almost a case of you come back to the simpler things eventually. You can go as complicated as you want, but you can come back to the simpler ones.
This is where I think age can play a big part.
Mm-hmm.
Is wanting to go back to that time when you would have seen grandparents using stuff. You would have seen more men. Most men would have carried a pen knife.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, my dad, he would have had one in his toolbox. He'd have had one down in his desk where he sat in the house.
Yeah,
but he never carried them. Took the work one he would have used in work to cut a bit of rubber pipe or something.
But he wouldn't carry one.
Wouldn't have been his thing. Unless he was out in the garden, then he had one of those gardening tools that are the knife, the pliers, the secateurs that we bought him for Christmas. Cost about £2, I think, but he loved it and he used it. That's exactly a knife. You should pick a knife up and just use it.
Yeah. And
we do become precious, and I'm guilty of it. We do become precious about the knives, whereas I think in days gone past, that was, again, you're picking this up for £2 in the market. That would have been maybe half a day's wages.
Yeah. It's funny because we were talking about CK now. I was about to say Calvin Klein, but the German maker, that Sean really loves. And I have a Stockman that was my grandfather's knife.
Yes,
but it's exactly the same thing. He wasn't concerned about the brand or the quality of the knife. He just wanted something that he could cut stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
He was a fitter at the docks and for Harland and Wolff. And I mean, obviously, he just would have needed a wee knife. A three-bladed Stockman would have done the job perfectly. It was
one blade for your lunch, One blade for dirty work, one blade for
For
clean
clean
work.
work,
That was
exactly.
it.
Yeah, and I mean, or for cleaning your nails
Yeah.
or whatever else.
The
But I
wee
mean,
pen blade was your nail
yeah,
cleaner, and your because
exactly.
you had
So,
to. You were working with your hands. There was
but
no
it didn't.
gloves in.
But it didn't matter. I mean, it would have cost like a
Yeah.
shilling or something.
Yeah.
And lasted him years and years and years. And when it was done, he would have just thrown it away.
Because
And done
I
another one.
mean, this is the thing. Most people, most of us, and I would say without fail, most of us take a penknife out. Sometimes none, but maybe 2 or 3 times a day, and it's usually to open a package, take a bit of zip tie off, take whatever, and it goes back in the pocket again.
Butter
It's
scone, Stephen.
Yes, butter scone, butter
Butter
scone.
scone.
And these wouldn't be good for scone butter, as you say,
No, because they're too small.
but they would work.
I'm sure you could make it work.
Yeah.
Definitely. We have a question in the chat,
Okay.
and it's from Phil R. And he is Phil R. He does not own a Barlow, which is a sin in God's eyes. Stephen is
Well,
what I can say.
Love the look of it and the vibe. Where should I start for a classic, top quality, new example? Well, I'm going to give you two answers. For a top quality, which is not an expensive isn't always top quality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's get that right out there.
Top quality isn't always
It's
expensive.
yeah. I would go for the Rosecraft Barlow. The Rosecraft Beaver, is it Beaver? No, Otter Creek. The Otter Creek Rosecraft blade. It's about £70 or something, I think, somewhere around that. It is absolutely fit and finish amazing.
Gorgeous.
D2 steel, so you're going to get plenty of longevity out of it, and it looks flipping gorgeous. There's a couple of iterations of it, and then if you want to just try one to see if you actually like a Barlow, I would go and buy the cinnamon. Can I just grab that out there?
Cinnamon Bone Rough Rider.
The Cinnamon Bone Rough Rider, which is in carbon. Which, me personally, I love the carbon blades more than I do the stainless steel. There's that one there. It's thin, it's lovely, it's got a hollow grind on it. It's, to me, this is the best Rough Rider I've ever had. I carried this so often. It is an absolutely fantastic. And if you want, I mean, you're going to 20 quid.
Yeah, and you get those off Heine Haynes. Now, before everybody goes mad in the chat and starts going, it's not a traditional, it's a modern traditional, it's a Chinese.
It's not traditional.
It's a traditional pattern. It's penned, so it fits the description of Stephen's own definition.
Yeah.
But to answer Phil's question about Arthur Wright specifically, do we have an Arthur Wright Barlow? I don't.
Yes, I was trying to.
This is what Stephen would eventually have come on to. If you want to go traditional and British, you cannot do better than an Arthur Wright Barlow.
This is an Arthur Wright Barlow, and these cost about. I think they're up. They're high 40s now. I think
40s,
anyway.
50.
High 40s, 50. There is a beautiful Barlow. Now they come in clips. There's all sorts there. There's a clip. Beautiful.
And honestly, that would be my recommendation.
Yeah.
Phil, would be the clip Barlow from Arthur Wright.
You can see the difference in the difference you get, especially if you've got a bigger hand, but not necessarily a bigger hand. But if you see the difference, they do all sorts of different shapes of handles. This is a thinner handle because it's a wee lamb's foot blade. This has got that thicker bulbous end on it, which just sits in your hand beautifully. So I would always recommend, to me, getting an Arthur Wright clip.
And if you want to go really special, check out Moonraker, because they often are doing special editions like these with these gorgeous
these are wood scales that have been dyed, and it's burl wood.
And it is, I mean, look at that. Look at the color on that. And there's a whole series of these.
And they're £52.
Yeah, 52 quid.
C70. But C70 is absolutely fine carbon steel. You'll have to sharpen it quite a lot, but you should be able to sharpen a blade anyway if you haven't
learned.
Depends
on what you're using it for. I mean, if you're not using it for much, you don't need to sharpen it.
Yeah.
No, the only thing, I'd say two things about this. We often say that if you want an Arthur Wright clip point Barlow, that is probably the nicest clip point that you will ever see. Arthur Wright clip point. However, and just to be purist about it, strictly speaking, that's a short bolstered Barlow, okay? Whereas if we went for a full bolstered Barlow, this is what you're looking at. So Phil, just to bring it home, a full bolstered Barlow is probably about a third the size of the handle, if I've been watching Stephen's videos right. But I mean, don't worry too much about the definition of these
This
things.
is an Ashley Harrison. This to me is a classic. It's got that more bulbous end on it, good depth in the blade, very thin behind the edge. Actually gets a really nice thin compared to just the run-of-the-mill Arthur Wrights. So this is beautiful. And then, I mean, this is a rounded Barlow. They also do a flat Barlow, a flat bolstered Barlow, and it's got a flatter hand, whereas this is sort of rounded, if you like. On this, you've got a very flat bolster. You can see it, and it's got a flat blade, but it dips down, coming down to the bolster here. Both really, really comfortable hand, but you can see the bottom of the standard Barlow. It's always got that more bulbous end, which for me, I have a large hand, so it just sits right in my hand beautifully.
Yeah, and I mean, so that's pretty much a quick run through the Barlows. If honestly, a Barlow is a lovely, lovely knife. And another good one is the Tailor's Eyewitness, just the basic Barlow that they do for about 50 quid. And sometimes you can get them. I don't have one anymore. I think Stephen has had what his tarted up, I think. Didn't you?
Oh, of course I did. Yes, this is just a basic one. This just comes in a very basic hardwood, and it doesn't come with shiny blades like this one done. This was another one done by Slippy. Got a bit of bone, a bit of buffalo horn, and then it has a bit of olive wood.
Very nice.
Which is just gorgeous.
But the bolster on the Tailor's Eyewitness is special because it's slightly squared off, and it's a lovely, lovely effect on it. So, and again, none of these are particularly they're not massively expensive. So, I mean, that's a good range of Barlows just to start. So you go going from 20 quid for a basic Rough Rider Chinese carbon tip, but it's still a very good knife. You can go Tailor's Eyewitness and Arthur Wright for anything up to about 50 quid. You can go special edition Arthur Wright, and then you can go into the more modern tradition.
The higher end one of this is about 180 now.
Yeah, that's right. If you really want to really.
And actually, it's about 180. Do you know what I mean? And that's a custom. Yeah. The other one isn't a custom, although it's made usually
to
by
those standards.
The top. So, yeah, it's and again, there's another fact. There is so many. You get one pattern. And you get every company does something a slight bit different. It mightn't be a huge difference, but they are all different. Yeah. And that's the love of it. Even if it's just the weight of them, it's the girth of them, it's always just that little bit. And this is why I got bored with locking knives. I still have my locking knives. Don't get me wrong. I still like and use my locking knives. But I found everything was just getting very samey. Mm-hmm. You get one blade that everybody likes, and then every company makes one of that blade, and it's exactly the same, no difference. Why do I want 10 of them? Whereas, give me 10 Barlows, and not one of them will look the same. Mm-hmm. That's the joy of it.
But you are a mad Barlow collector, aren't you? That's one of your.
I love Barlows, yeah. But you started me off. I always liked the spear point. I always liked.
That's
but
right.
I've now got nearly as many spear points this year. I have bought consistently spear points,
and I mean that's another thing. And I mean, I have to say, I mean, I've never been a fan of the lamb's foot, but I have to say the barber knife this year changed my opinion of it, because I just think that's a fantastic knife. All right, it's a
senator handle.
Yeah, but it's
not as deep as a sweat. It doesn't drop.
Yeah, it doesn't have that same curve.
Lovely and comfortable in the hand.
It is, and it's just beautifully proportioned. But that changed my mind about
that is the word.
Yeah,
proportions, and that's perfect.
But the spear points that you can get, I'm a big fan of a spear point, and I mean, we'll talk about fat spear points in a way, but the one that flavor of the month this year, or over the last 6 months, has been these slim spears.
Yeah.
Pen spears or pen blades or whatever.
Because I mean, I bought 2 off actually.
Yeah. And I mean, they're just phenomenal. And again, they're very like the ones that you were showing them in the pen knives in terms of that slender blade.
But I done a video I think it was 2 videos ago. You'll see a circle of pen blades,
spears,
spears, and I just this year I've gone mad on them. It's the most bought knife has been spear points this year.
Yeah,
and I shocked myself how many I had, because I always would have had some because I like a spear, because I always refer to it as the all-rounder.
Yes,
because everyone wants an all-rounder when you can get something special.
Yes, I know.
But
yeah.
And I think a lot of people like you, there's a different, every year you seem to find something else. Oh, I like that. And then you collect them for a while. Then you get something else and you collect that one. But there's the ability to do that without spending a fortune.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it, especially not having to spend a fortune.
I know, and it's, although spending a fortune is
It's
real
fun.
as well. And there's a variation on it. So there's a fatter spear, and that's
this was
the one that did it for you, wasn't it?
We get a knife made by Ashley every year, the three of us, and it's just our wee knife that we get made for the Paddy Pals podcast. And this one was an Ashley, and this completely blew me away. We got that at the beginning of this year, and I have gone buck daft ever since I got it. Now, that's what I would call a really well substantial spear. That's a good fat spear. You know, it's not skinny. It's not, you know, it's a proper spear.
And it's got a nice bit of swedging on the top.
Yeah.
Which
Ashley
really
does the
makes
swedging. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just, there you go. You see that swedging. It's a sexy knife.
It really is. It's
a sexy knife.
It's beautiful in hand. It really is. But that pattern itself was just, because and this is another one that was it was just appeals just in terms of that simple traditional effect. It's just okay, it's Barlow, but it's just a sleeve board handle.
Yeah.
No, it's a stick with a blade, as you keep on telling.
But a stick's the most comfortable thing to own.
And there's nothing special about it in terms of the design element or anything.
But that will do anything in your day.
Yeah, but more to the point, put it all together, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's just beautiful. I mean, the materials are fantastic.
Yeah,
the workmanship on it's fantastic. The action on it is amazing.
And here's the other thing. I think more than I ever did with a locking knife, and I'm not saying it's not there, because there is people, and I watch their videos and they can elaborate on every little bit of it. I didn't find that in depth. It wasn't something I wanted to go any further. It was nice looking. But when I get a traditional knife and I start looking around it and I see the different way, you can actually see the mechanism where they file, what they do it different to make the blade either a half stop or an on. I love looking into them. Now, I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time, but I just love seeing the difference and how a maker adds a swedge. A swedge is such a wonderful, it's a brush stroke. It's like looking at a painting. Really an artist has their brush stroke. Well, knife makers who are doing it by hand, they really have an artistry in doing it. Ashley does his just by hand, and that's it. It's nothing, he just puts it on, does it, on it goes to the next one. That's an artist at work.
How many customs have we seen from new makers that are missing out on that artistry simply because they're going for a minimalist look, really simple, and they're doing plain blades without that tiny little taste of a swedge.
Yeah,
that really lifts. I mean, somebody was mentioning earlier in the chat about they love the way the traditional knives, the little bit older ones, because they have so much character to them.
But they had to add flair. It was you know, they had to have something that made theirs, because they were usually on a wee stand or a glass cabinet at the the wholesale warehouse sort of thing, and you just went and picked one. So if it stood out by having a nice swedge or having a lovely bone handle or having a stag that's really well matched,
that line, that particular line,
whatever it is. I mean, there was so many things that make people. But I think the answer to that question you're saying is, because I used to think, why wouldn't you like a swedge? But it's funny, if you go into, when you get comments from people, I don't like that, there's a swedge on it. Yeah. There is so many people who don't like a swedge.
Yet, so it's a taste thing.
It really is. It is. There's so many people I get, I don't like swedges.
I know, but if you don't like a swedge, you just roll. But then again, I'm sorry, but you just roll.
There's another old knife maker like Sheffield, is Boker. They're Barlows. That's very
true.
Swedge on them.
That's very true. Yeah.
And yet they're absolutely brilliant knife. We all have one, but yet we say we don't like. And it's funny you do. I like. Some people like that buy a pattern. I like the mix. I don't like having two of something. I try not to have, because I do love the mix.
Yeah.
And especially when I get down to these cheaper ones, that mix is easy to afford.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So show us another one. So we've talked about makers, and we've talked about particular patterns, and we've talked about knives with a bit of history and a story. So let's talk about favorites. And I know we never like to talk about favorites because it's so hard to choose one. But what pick, if you're looking at those knives, what would your hand reach for almost naturally? You mean both hands to lift that monster?
I mean, this is heavier than a buck 110. This is a sailor's knife that was issued when I was in the Navy. I'm happy to say, yeah. I had one of these from about 12, I think it was. My friend's brother was in the Navy, and he brought us each one back when he came on leave.
Mhm.
And I carried this till I was about 17. It nearly made me go around in circles when I was 12. It was that heavy on one side of my body. But it was a big, broad. This isn't the one, actually. I just got this one because I'd always talked about it, but never actually gone and bought one. And then I seen this one. It was about 30 quid. And this is an amazing knife for 30 quid. Metal construction. It's just fantastic. Solid.
Japers.
It would literally, it's just beautiful. And it's got the screwdriver on the end of it. And this was the sailor's knife. The boys used to work on the upper deck and do all the odd jobs about the ship. That's what you call sailors when you're in the Navy.
Yeah.
They do the upper deck. They do the painting of the ship and things like that, the upkeep. And this is what they carried with them on a lanyard attached to a belt. It was a long enough lanyard that you could have used it, put it in your pocket. But if you're up the mast changing light fittings and you're taking something off, like you're using a screwdriver, because back then, sad to say, the screwdrivers were all flathead.
Yeah.
And all the upper deck fittings, the lights were all flathead. So you
Uh-huh.
could take an upper deck light off without having it because you had that on a string. You didn't have to carry anything
No
else.
screwdrivers or anything.
It just so I mean, so from I was 12 to about
It's a
17.
monstrosity. It really. Oh, sorry. It is. But I mean, you cannot say that that is not a. I won't say quality, but it is a definite characterful
It's
piece
just
of
a
kit.
beater.
It is an amazing knife to handle. Actually, you
Is it-
definitely
you
get a
think
grip
it
on
looks
it.
all
Yeah.
off, but because of that Marlin spike,
Yeah,
it
it
gives
just
you a
sits in your
rounded
hand.
back.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is.
But I mean, they used to do everything with it. You know, they batoned with it. Well, they hit it with a hammer, not batoned. I mean, and they just lasted. And that was the thing, because if you give a Matlow any tool, he'll break it as quickly as he can. It seems to be that, let's see if I can break this. These were next to indestructible. They
I know.
really were.
Yeah, it's very
So,
true.
yeah, that would be a favorite. And I'm going to give you another favorite, and for a completely different reason. This is now one of my most favorite knives. Now, this one I had to send to Slippy because a great story behind this, and this is the bit where stories are important. This was a traveling salesman's knife, and he must have got it made at dinner time. One of the boys said, "Throw me a knife together. I need a wee pen knife." And they done this. The back was completely rough where it came off the cutting machine.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
So you could have cut yourself on
you
the
literally
back,
could.
yeah.
It was ridges. Slippy filed them all down beautifully. It had the most book colored scales on it. They were plastic, and they were they were nearly pink and white, and they were just horrible. The blades were absolutely fine. They were rough and ready. Just nobody would give them any care. You could tell it was just a lunchtime knife. And a lot of companies, they made knives for their friends at lunchtime, and they were sneaked out of the factories. But I've been given this by Frank, and he'd give it to me not because it was some beautiful knife. It was the last traveling salesman he had come into his shop,
Uh-huh.
and he worked for Wolstenholme. And this is an old
Two-bladed jack.
George
It's
Wolstenholme.
actually a Barlow, isn't it? Two-bladed Barlow.
Yeah, oh, it's a Barlow there.
Yeah.
But you got that big stamp bolster. So now this has become one of my favorite because of the story. It was the last traveling salesman
Mhm.
that was going about. I just love it now. I absolutely
But
love it.
it's been upgraded, or
Yeah,
it's
the
been
scale, putting that
yeah.
oak on it is just
No, it's
oh,
just fantastic. But this is what I think. This is what we've discovered over the last few months. It's the access to someone like Slippy to do the kind of modification to breathe knife or life
It's
back into an
amazing.
old knife. It just means so much. It really does.
I mean, I have about 6 done now
Yeah.
already from him, and there's not one I could put any fault. I can give him
No.
GEC to do.
Yeah,
And he
exactly.
made an amazing
I give him a
job of it.
shame for crying out
Yeah,
loud.
you
He
give
made
him a
a better
shame,
job
yeah.
of it. For goodness sake.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, they would be sort of two of my favorites. And this, talking about, this is a fixed blade, but this little one I only got the other week. This is a throwing knife. I just love this. You can see the scales are real. It's hard plastic. It really is. There's nothing to them. It's a lovely weight forward for throwing. it's just a bit. I haven't cleaned it. I'm going to clean it all up and put a nice edge on it. And me and Justin are going to go out the back and have an old throwing session with it.
Excellent.
But it's just a lovely, lovely thing.
What worries me is I'm not sure whether he wants me as a target or to give me a go.
Moving target.
Yeah. Oh, at least you give me the option.
Trees out there.
At least you give me the option to move. That's something.
Yeah, I mean, the simple things. I mean, that little knife there just means probably the most out of all of my collection, and yet
just because it's so old and just because it's so,
it's just beautiful. And then you talk about we like our Arthur Wrights and all that, but this is an older Arthur Wright. Yeah. This is an older lamb.
That's pre Michael and Ashley.
Oh yeah. Look at that lovely shield on it. It's that black plastic that Slippy hates with a passion.
But it's got a shield on it, so you can't change it.
Yeah, it's got a lovely shield on it. But this is in such good nick, and it's probably somewhere around maybe 70s or something like that. And I just love it. You can see the dirt on it because I do take them out and use them. But it's just a fabulous little lamb's foot. This is what I'm not. We're talking about the Senator. The Senator has a dip like that, and then the rounded front.
Yeah.
But this one's too. It doesn't feel comfortable in my hand. But
because it's a sway back.
Because the blade's canted down, I tend to have my thumb on top there, so then I don't need that grip. I wouldn't hold it like that. I use it like that, and you can see the complete difference when you're using your thumb up top there.
Yeah, for the
take your thumb off the back. Yeah, it's a lot. Well, you have very small hands too, but
yeah,
it's just
it's a great wee knife actually. How old that one, Steve?
I would say probably 70s.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's lovely wee knife. And I wouldn't change that. I don't like to change everything just because it's old and it's got plastic scales.
No, but the condition in that is amazing. There's not a gap in that.
No, you wouldn't want to change that.
Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't want to change that.
Yeah.
Because I like to have the
past. It's the stuff that bugs you. I mean, like you did on your buck. It was just bugging you with those raised pins and whatever.
Exactly.
We have another couple of questions. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. So somebody was asking with Arthur Wright knives if it's just Ashley that makes the knife. So is every knife an Ashley knife? No. Every other knife is an Ashley knife, or every two knives is an Ashley knife. But no, he's not the only person who does it, because Michael and Ashley have an apprentice called Beth,
who's 5 years. She's in her 5th year of her apprenticeship, so she's basically there. This is was that my Beth one?
Yeah, and this is the answer to somebody else who was asking, saying that an etric is the only way to go. Now that's nonsense.
It's not an etric either.
What is it? Oh, is it a peach printer?
It's a peach printer.
It's a peach printer.
The etric is the one.
Oh, the one, the really slim hand sway back, isn't it?
Slim sway back with a very a wee sheep's foot.
Yeah.
Usually on the end of it.
Yeah. But this is one of Beth's knives.
This is one of Beth's knives, and she made this for me well over a year ago.
Yeah,
probably 2 years ago. Yeah, probably 2 years ago. And this is, I mean, she could make them. I mean, this is the thing with a knife maker. They can be a very competent knife maker, but you have to be able, in a small firm like that, they have to do the speed and keep the standard of the knives up. It's very difficult. There's not many 5-year apprenticeships, no, unless you're going to talk to a doctor or something. But there isn't many 5-year apprenticeships anymore. It's usually 3 years and you've got it done.
Well, I don't know, to be honest, but I'm sure.
Well, there doesn't seem to be. I never hear anybody saying, "Oh, I'm in my 4th year."
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I just, and this one is Beth's. It was I think it was only 6 she made, and I'm so pleased to got it. She won't start making again until she's finished her apprenticeship, and she'll be doing it then.
Sort of special dispensation from Michael, wasn't it?
So well, they have to make some. I think she had to make 6 knives, 6 patterns as part of her yearly. Here, I want to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Because then you can pick up the little faults or things that you can improve on. Which, I mean, Ashley will tell you, the first person to tell you, he's always learning.
Yeah.
Michael will tell you, he's the first person, and he taught the two of them. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly, and there's always something that can be improved upon or whatever.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers the question about who does the production. But literally, it's 2 people. Michael's always working in the office and doing the wheeling dealing and whatever, and running the company. But Ashley and Beth are on the production line.
And they'll share. I mean, one will maybe do one part of the knife, and another will do another part of the knife. It's not just all one thing. Some days somebody will just be, stamping blades out. The next day they'll be doing sanding or,
Yeah. Gruffalo's asking, what's the etric actually for?
Not a baldy notion. The weirdest knife I've ever seen. I've got one just so I can have one. I have no idea why. But let me tell you another thing.
Fortunately, we have Ellis who knows a little bit more about this than
Yeah.
yeah. So apparently, if it's for
For
that
small game, yeah. I really don't do small game yet, but it's something it's actually on my bucket list to start doing shooting and then skinning. But the Edric, I carried it for a week because I thought this is useless. What the hell would somebody have one? So I bought one and I carried it for a week and I ate my words for a tiny little. Where's my Edric? Just get it out there just so you can see the Edric. Is it here? No, I've got it sitting up here out of the way.
While he's looking, talk amongst
There you go.
yourselves.
This
Here
is
you
a
go.
little Edric. There you go. That's a little electric with a big hand. And I thought, what the hell is the point of
Yeah,
that?
because that's an even weirder.
You know, I can
angle than that
understand
lamb's foot.
detailed knives, but I thought, why would you carry it as a pocket knife? It's flipping great.
As a wee box cutter, I can
Because
imagine.
I can get it folded in my hands there, and I put my thumb there.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. I used it for a full week for everything I do,
Beautiful.
EDC, cutting boxes, everything. You know, cutting the Amazon box.
Or is that
Yeah,
wood?
it's hard. Yeah, no, it's hard
Horn?
buffalo. You can see
That
that.
is gorgeous.
Isn't that lovely?
That is a beautiful wee knife.
But it's just a comfortable wheel. And yes, it's small, but most of my EDC tasks are small.
And that is exactly what you were saying about that.
Exactly, yeah.
It's you don't need much.
But that's so sturdy, you could do a box with it, you know. It's not,
totally.
And I love the way, even at the back of it, you see there, because it's a shorter blade with a longer handle. I love it when knife makers take the time to put the wee extra bit in at the end here, so you don't just have that huge big gap at the end. I love when they go the extra. And a lot of knives, the pen blade, when they come up and meet the pen blade rather than stopping at the end, I just, details like that are just amazing. Just amazing.
Excellent. Well, we've got 3 minutes before we hit our hour. So I suppose
what's been your
that's my traditional journey is actually, to be honest, I think now the weird thing about it, for not having been a massive traditional fan or anything, I have to say that if I was going to buy a knife now, it would probably be a traditional.
I'm going to test you just to see what your opinion is.
Opinion or knowledge?
Because
opinion I can give.
You just knowledge. Bought a GEC, right?
Yeah.
And you bought, what was the name of the company, that really nice GEC?
Oh, the engineer, the Cripple Creek.
Beautiful knife.
Absolutely.
One of your favorite.
Yes. Two-bladed.
There's an old one. Half the price.
Look at that. Again, Barlow.
Beautifully stamped.
Stock up bone too.
Bone is lickable.
It really is.
It's a caramel.
It's a caramel treacle
latte sort of.
Check this out, guys. Isn't that beautiful?
I mean, the engineer was 200 odd pound.
Yeah, easy.
And I got that for 100. Listen to that opening. Look at the blade.
Look at the spear on that.
Just look at it. It's flipping gorgeous.
It is unbelievable.
And that cost £100. The workmanship on that was locked by hand. This is going back a wee bit. It's just right up the center. Both blades completely up the center.
Amazing. Now I have to say, my engineer
is
good. The fit and finish is just as good.
I think the engineer is the best modern version that I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it is my favorite traditional knife that I've got. I think just in terms of the quality and everything.
What's the favorite?
Is Ashley would always be up there.
But is that not equally as good?
Easily. It's beautiful. I mean, because it's got, apart from anything else, it's got age on it. Mine's brand new, and this has got a wee bit of age worn on it. So it's a little bit duller, but warm.
It's just,
and that's why that bolster is just amazing.
I mean, I've got quite a few what I call high-end ones, but high-end at £100.
Yeah,
compared to a new one, which is £220 or something.
No, I would go a long way to buy that. I would definitely go a long way to buy that.
And I think this is where the thing is. I don't think it's very long before you do start making a jump. Yeah, because you do love your traditionals.
Oh yeah, but that's what I was saying. I think a knife like that with that amount of character would appeal to me an awful lot more than well. I mean, I say that, but ironically, I'm carrying a UKPK, which is a fantastic
I
knife.
don't even know what I'm carrying today.
But,
oh yes, I do.
But I'd travel a long way and spend a lot to get one of those. I must admit.
I've fallen in love with the Paddy's knife again. I've been carrying this for.
Oh, you've got yours, have you?
Yeah.
It's funny. I've got mine.
I mean, there's our little Paddy knife with the PPP stamp, not etched, stamped on it, made by Arthur Wright. These are just, I love these.
Stephen's is in lignum vitae and mine's in white oak, or English oak, I should say.
And these were £45 with our stamp on it.
Yeah. These are the special ones.
Yeah, these are, we got these at the Sharp Show. Michael done us up a stack to sell at Sharp Show. It's got
there's a bunch of people
out there back and
with them.
Nicer wood on it. But for £45, there's a little work knife.
Oh, the tacklers are fantastic.
And it's sort of new to most people. Have never really used it.
It's sort of that cross between a Warncliffe and a sheep's foot kind of thing.
Yeah, there is just somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's sort of like the earlier one we were talking about. You know, it's the lamb's foot. That was a lamb's foot, but it had a curved dip as opposed to that straight angle. But it's a fantastic knife. It really is a cracker. But I was really pleased to see that he'd done them just a little bit extra, a little bit special.
Here's another little special knife to have in your collection. What do you think of that? And what I'm showing it is a stamped metal IXL Wolstenholme, just stamped, literally put on a machine, stamped, and then pinned together, top and bottom, and a little blade in the middle of it. What do you think of something like that?
Good answer, TK. TK, I'm waiting for somebody to say something worth putting up. Next question.
This was called a dime knife in the States.
Look at that, nice.
Because Wolstenholme exported out this year. Well, they actually have buildings there as well. But this was called a dime knife because it cost a dime. It was just basic stamped metal with a blade, a carbon steel blade. Absolutely.
It's a fabulous
kids' knives are, you know.
Yeah.
And I love having, again, that's that little bit of history. I don't know a whole lot, but I know enough to make it interesting.
Still half.
Oh, it's
fantastic action. It's lovely.
And it would cost a dime at the time in the States.
And probably it cost you when you got it, you know.
A penny, I think 10 maybe.
5 tenner.
Yeah, tenner. It was on Etsy. I think we got it off. But just little oddities like that just really please me. And I mean, going to the posh ones, the old secretary knives, which everybody seems to love now. I have this beautiful, there you go, the office knife. I have about 4 of these in all different scripts on them, different colors. I just love these. Absolutely love them. And honestly, it's just a I love this.
Oh yes,
this is my little dinky knife, much like my other knife. This one is an IXL Wolstenholme, and IXL Wolstenholme you get the most of over here. They're the easiest to pick up. But this is a beautiful little mother of pearl Wolstenholme. Just a gorgeous little knife, 2-bladed. That's that tiny wee blade. That tickles me to death. There you go. Look at that. What a little lady's knife to have in your purse.
Perfect.
Isn't it perfect for a lady to have in her purse?
I'll keep it in my purse for crying out loud.
You know what I mean?
And I'm no lady.
And it's in mint condition. I don't know when it was from, but
it looks as if it hasn't even come out of that box.
I got it with the box. The wee bit of paper was completely just rotted. I didn't even keep it in there. Normally I would keep it, but it was just rotted. So yeah. It's the vast variety of knives you can get.
And I mean, I think just to wrap this up, the vast variety is right. Because again, while traditional knives are traditional knives, every now and again, you still get something new. And again, this is just me thanking everybody out there, because this is one of Ashley's latest creations. And this was my birthday knife, courtesy of everybody on the channel. I thank you every time I bring it out. But this is
this is from the what do you call it, the
Sharp Show.
No, yeah, but it was from the people on the
on the Discord and
Discord,
on
yeah,
the, on,
yeah.
on the in the sanitarium,
Yeah.
which for which much gratitude. But this is just a fantastic knife, and all three of us, when we saw this, all of us fell in
Just
love with
wanted it,
this.
yeah. In fact, we have now ordered one.
Yeah, and again, it's a knife that we haven't. It's a model that Ashley's never made
no.
before, and it's one he played around with. And I mean, apart from anything else, it's a big spear. It's above the legal limit in the UK wise, but it's just a
And
fantastic
it's not
knife.
much above it.
Not much, not much. But the thing about it was we said it's a copperhead, and we said, Ashley, what made you do a copperhead? And Ashley said, "What's a copperhead?"
Yeah.
I know. What was the comment? And Mikey explained it to him. It's where there's this covers
the tang of the blade is hidden behind the bolster, the top of the bolster.
And Ashley just said,
"Knife's finished properly."
Yeah, the knife's finished properly. You mean? So
yeah, that was his purpose in doing that.
Yeah.
Not that he knew what a copperhead was.
So it's almost he came upon the design by accident.
Isn't it amazing that I mean, we've talked to them numerous times, but it's amazing that a knife maker that's in that wee building and they're just knocking knives out every single day, their knowledge in knives is not great.
No,
it's great on the knives they're making.
Yes,
but the rest of the world can be another place.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, they're looking at old patterns there, because we've seen some of the pattern books that they have from like 100 years ago, and there are patterns in there that they're aware of but have never made. And it's things like these that Ashley would for his custom knives, he gets ideas for them,
exactly,
and then plays around with them and experiments with them. So
that's the joy.
I think given the tackler this year and given the barber knife and given something like that copperhead, we're really excited for
it. It does excite you because
you know,
for
the stuff that is possibly coming
to come.
Yes, over the next couple of years, it's going to be an exciting time. And just to bring it back home and just round it off for tonight, Baron was asking for an update on the PPP. The next PPP
I was speaking
knife
to Michael yesterday, and the update is stand by, carry on, and wait patiently. They're still waiting for the blades to be done. They're still at this the other thing, but he is actually now I don't want to say anything I'm not supposed to say. He might have found, you know, somebody else who'd be willing to do them on short order. So that's not this time. It'll probably be the next time.
right.
But we've already got this one. Once this one's done, we've already got the next knife. The blades are already ready for it.
Yeah. So what are we getting? What is the next one?
It's a Senator.
Senator.
A Senator. So you've got a Barlow and then a Senator. Barlow's the next knife. I don't know why I said the Senator. I'm not supposed to say that, am I?
Well,
you tricked me, boy. You tricked me.
We'll edit it.
Yeah, they'll forget by next week.
Of course they will. We know this crowd.
Right.
But yes, for those, it's a Barlow next.
Barlow next.
Is it a clip point or a
it's a spear?
A spear Barlow.
No, it's not. It's a clip point. We're having
one of these days we will have a consistent.
We are having a spear. That's going to be the third knife.
Third knife afterwards.
It's going to be a spear, and it's going to be special too. It's not going to be just. We're trying to make them all a little bit special.
Again, time frame, no idea, but we'll keep you posted. So feel free to get excited, folks. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Sorry, Mike, you couldn't be here.
But I think, and it also explains why Sean and Lynn aren't here as well. I think they are hosting.
Oh yes, because they're traveling. They're going to a car boot sale tomorrow morning.
Yeah, big one tomorrow.
The big one.
They'll have lots of stuff to talk about when they're back. But in the meantime, go explore some traditional knives.
Yeah,
honestly, it is another rabbit hole well worth exploring.
And start cheap. Don't rush to buy. A Rough Rider is every bit as good. It's every bit as good as an EDC knife. Start there, find patterns you like, and keep with, find the cheap ones about and see, like I tried the Etric. I tried it carrying it for a week, and it's done everything I wanted with aplomb. I was shocked at just how good it was. And we do tend to, we look at something, I'm going to carry that there. Try everything. Just try it, even just for a day or a couple of hours. Yeah. It's a joy, this hobby. You just got to get into it. Take away an awful lot of your phobias of what it's going to be like.
And it's been a pleasure talking about some of our favorite knives and hopefully showing you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We will be back same time next week. God knows what we're talking about, but I'm sure we'll.
Yeah, we haven't decided. Tuesdays we decide what we're talking about.
Yeah, and is it ever qualify as a decision.
No, not really.
Vague ideas usually about as
Whoever
good as you
shouts
get,
the loudest, you'll only get.
pretty much. So anyway,